All right, here we go. Let's do some screen sharing. All right, give me just a minute. We're going to pull this up. And there we go. I want to get. Yeah, who cares? All right, let me crop this thing down. That way, all we have is the practice score competitor app on the screen. And we don't need anything more than that. All right, there we go. So, if you're just listening, this is what we have. So, when day 2 finished, I've got production up on the screen, but let's switch it to limited. There we go. Let me refresh. Day 2, we had Scott Brown with a commanding lead of 126 points over Joey Sauerland. As of right now, it's a 74-point lead. So he's made up a little bit of ground, but again, that's a huge margin to try to overcome. Shane Coley was in third. He was only 23 points behind Joey at the time. He's now 43 points behind Joey as we're looking at it. Robert Crow still fourth. And it was John Browning and Jonathan Miller, 3 points apart. Now, Jonathan Miller has dropped to 8th. John Browning is still in 5th. And you have Gianni in 6th, Gorka Ibanez in 7th. And as I said, Jonathan Miller in 8th. You have Brody Atkinson at 9, and Evan Thursby brings up the rear at 10. And I don't mean that in a degrading fashion. It's impressive. All right, so let's move on. So really, the top 5 in limited has not changed thus far today, and we'll get into that more. But I want to hit on all of them before we go into each of them specifically. So limited optics, when I posted my update, you had Max Leograndis with a 61-point lead. Right now, it looks like he is 29 points ahead of KC. That's what I'm guessing. I think that's a 1, could be a 7. If it's a 7, it's 6 extra points. The point is, they're a lot closer than they were. Now, you had Tom Castro in third last night. Tom Castro's still in third, but he's a distant third. So he is, as of right now, he's 94 points behind KC. Technically, he's 58, but if you look at maximum number of points you can acquire, that's what we have. So that's where we're at. He's still a good bit behind KC. So really, it's Max and KC 1 and 2, Tom being in third, and as of last night, Trace Decker was 43 points behind him. Looks like it's a 13-point lead now. So third place is up for grabs still, looks like. Looks like Trace could move up to third. Tom can still solidify it. We had Cameron Templin at 5th. He's still in 5th, and he's got a 24-point lead going into what's left to shoot today. And you have Andrew Hyder after that, Nick Walden, Case Ryan, Jim Steele, and David Lyell in 10th. So that's where we stand there. Now we're heading over to production. When we closed out last night, Tyler Turner could close out with a maximum number of points attainable at 1,954. So 1954. He had Nils right behind him at 1939. That is just a number at the end of day 2, showing what could happen. But obviously it changes as other people shoot. positions change within the stage, finishes, things of that nature. So Tyler is now in third. Nils is in first with a commanding lead over JJ. It's showing 53 points actual, but the maximum attainable is 78 more than what JJ can do. And Tyler's dropped down to third. He's now 18 points behind JJ, actually 13 points or 18 points behind. But then there's a big discrepancy behind that. I mean, he's really, well, maybe not as big as I'm thinking, but Brian Giovannini is fourth. He has a maximum attainable at 1792, but will he actually attain that? So, and that would still put him 37 points behind Tyler. So Tyler's looking pretty for third. Second's not out of the question. I think first is too far out of reach at this point. You have Mason Lane in fifth, and he is right behind Brian Giovannini. In real life, he has more points, but if you look at what he has left to shoot, it's pretty tight there. Casey Reed right behind Mason, Stephen Lutman, John Treat, Russell Maskey, and Phil Strader in 10th. There you go. Phil holding strong right now. All right, let's go to Revolver. Michael Poggi is now running away with it. He was only like 24 points ahead of James McGinty last night, but now he's almost 100 points ahead. He's 90 points ahead, and his attainable is 117 more than what James can get. So as usual, Michael comes in, second gear day 1, third gear day 2, and seventh gear day 3, and just starts pulling away. Behind them, you have Rich Wolf. So it looks like James is pretty much guaranteed second place. He's got a huge lead over third. It's like a 70-point lead in actual points. Alex Bakken is fourth. Jay Slater fifth. Garen Singleton, who was in fourth, has dropped to sixth, but he's holding strong. And then there's a big gap after that. So he's where he is at. Now, it looks like Garen is done shooting. He is done shooting. Now, Jay, in order to keep sixth place, so right now, Garen has 1,643 points. Jay Slater has 1,318 points, but he can maximize at 1,670. Now, he probably isn't going to maximize at 1,670. So the real question is going to be, how many points is Jay going to earn, and is it going to be enough to keep him in fifth place? It's his to lose, and it's also his to win. So very interesting coming down. Garen Singleton, his first Revolver Nationals ever. He's got nothing out there beside his name. Everybody around him is a G. He could literally place top 5. There are 29 shooters, but if you notice, there's a lot of very, very, very good Revolver shooters that he's shooting against. And then you have in 7th, Vincent Gunther, Caleb Higbee in 8th, Bill Thorpe 9th, and Mike Shaw in 10th. And that would round out your Revolver. Now let's go to single stack. Elias Frangoulis, real points, almost, he's a 63 points ahead right now. That's his lead. If you look at maximum attainable, it's like an 88-point gap. I don't know the gentleman's name in second place. I'm going to be honest with you here. It's Robert Caesar, Cernigoj. So however you pronounce that, I'm not going to murder the guy's name. But we're going to call him Caesar. He's in second. Now, third is Jeff Cawthon. And he's done shooting. So he has 1,849 points. He's done. John Vlieger's in fourth. John Vlieger cannot catch him because John's maximum number of points is 1,829, which is 20 behind what Jeff finished with. So he's done. Rob Latham is in fifth, and he has a maximum attainable at 1,811. Mike Seeklander is done. He's at 1786. So how Rob finishes out could determine whether Mike is in fifth, Rob is in fifth, or looking at it, Jeremy Reed is only 4 points behind Mike Seeklander, technically like 3.9. But my point is it's very, very tight. So depending on how Rob finishes out, he could be fifth, he could be seventh. I don't think he'd drop any further down the list than that because Henning Wahlgren is in eighth. He is done shooting and he finished with 15. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. He is not done shooting. I misread that, actually. My fault. He is not done. He's in eighth. And he could maximize at 1774. I guess Rob could slip that far, but I don't know. I mean, Rob is still top 5 on day 3, so that tells you how good that guy is. All right, so let's back up. I think the big one right now, if you ask me, is limited, or the top 2 that we're really looking at is limited and production. So I'm going to go to production. We're going to check that out. We're going to hit the refresh here and see what we've got. All right. Let's see what Nils. Now, Nils has a lot of first place stage wins in production. So let's count them up. 1, 2, 3. Whoop. I hate it when it does that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he's won 2 today. Today, he's only shot 3 stages. He was 7th on stage 16 because he had a mic. Wow. It's unusual for Nils to have a mic. But then he won stages 17 and 18. So I guess he decided to make up for the mic. Got him a little bit more focused. So he has a lot of stage wins. So it's going to be a tough one for anybody to come back with the way he is shooting. It seems like he's gotten refocused. It's going to be a hard one to beat him. Now, he still has stage 19, 20, 21, 14, and 15 to shoot. 14 and 15 are 12-round stages because they maximize at 12 points. 12 shots, 60 points. 19 and 20 are only 16-round stages. And stage 21, though, is a big one. That looks like a 28-round stage. So it'll be interesting to see where he ends up after that. All right, so now I said that was one of the big ones. And now JJ is right behind him. So let me go back here. There we go. And yeah, if you look at maximum of points attainable, JJ's 78 points behind what Nils can obtain. And let's see what JJ still has to do. Look at that. He won 3 stages in a row, 6, 7, and 8 in the division, in production division. Then he has 3 second places in a row. Now, it looks like JJ started on stage 13. He has shot stage 13 today. Oh, what am I thinking? That was yesterday. Look at this. Look at the mistakes I'm making. So 16, 17, 18. All right. He was second on stage 16, second on stage 17, third on stage 18. Just like Nils, he still has 19, 20, 21, 14, and 15 to go. And he's shooting his ammo chronoed at 138. I guess he's trying to win chrono too. All right. Now let's look at limited. As I said last night, Scott Brown had a very commanding lead based on points attainable. It was 126. That difference in maximum attainable is down to 74. That's a 50-point drop. Now, as of right now, real points, assuming they're on the same stages, same squad shooting the same stages, he is 57 points behind. And he's 31 points ahead of Shane. So he's sitting pretty for second place. I think that's an uphill battle to try to overcome 57 real life points in 5 stages. He has to win, 10 plus points a stage. But let's check and see what these two have left to shoot. Let's confirm that is the case. All right, so they have shot 14, 15, 16, and 17. So they have shot 4. Well, I'm saying I should say Scott Brown has shot those 4. And then he has 18, 19, 20, and 21 to go. So he is halfway done. He has 4 stages left. Now let's check and see if Joey's in the same boat. See if he has 4 stages to go. 14, 15, 16, 17. Yep. All right. So let's go back then. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, 57 points, 4 stages to go. So you're basically talking 14 to 15 points every stage is what Joey has to make up. And I'm just not. Scott's been shooting too well for that to happen. That is very, very difficult. Now, if you look at the other side of this, 31 points over 4 stages, you're looking at 8 points a stage. Okay. Shane has the ability to do that. I don't know exactly what the stages are, so I don't know whose strength that they would play to. So you would have to look at all of that and know what their strengths and weaknesses are and their ability to really push on their strength and shoot 100% on their weaker abilities on those stages. And I don't know enough about Shane to be able to do that. And Joey, even though I had him on the podcast recently, he's only been shooting seriously for about 2 years. So he's growing. And really, I think this is a testament also to his mental ability, his mental capacity to be able to stay focused, not get sidetracked or derailed by anything good or bad that happens. So, very, very interesting. Now, let's skip down. There's a big gap. John Browning's in 5th, Gianni is in 6th, but there's a big real time gap there of like 44 points. So again, that's a big gap to try to overcome in 4 stages. That's a lot of points. And those stages that they have left, they're not all big stages. So, you want bigger stages with more points to be able to overcome, or you've just got to turn into John Wick and shoot stuff fast and accurate. So that's a tough one. That's a really, really tough one. Now let's look down here, scrolling down a little bit. There's still some opportunity for people to move up. Like there is literally Evan Thursby is in 10th place right now. Sean Hines is in 11th, and he cannot, nor can Travis Tomasi, who's in 12th. Neither of them can catch Evan. He's done. He's finished, and the amount of points that he's already obtained throughout the entire match is more than what Sean Hines and Travis Tomasi can get in what they have remaining. Now, here's the interesting part. Brody Adkisson is in 9th, but if you look at maximum attainable, that's only one more point than Evan Thursby. So chances are Evan is going to move up into 9th. Brody, I doubt he would fall further than 10th based on what I'm seeing here. So I would say Brody's probably going to end up 10th, Evan 9th minimum. And right now, Jonathan Miller is only 17 points ahead of him if you look at maximum attainable. So there's a chance that Jonathan could lose enough points in those stages that he could drop to 9th, and Evan Thursby could literally move up into 8th place. Gorka's pretty much, I think he's solidified his spot in 7th. As long as nothing crazy happens and he shoots his game, he should be solid. Now, Gianni is too far behind John Browning to make it into 5th place. Again, unless something crazy happens. But it looks like your top 5 is determined. It's just the final finish. Like Robert Crow and John Browning are right now, real time, 1 point apart. That's all that separates them. However, I'm not sure what practice score is looking at here or the different stages they still have, but Robert Crow can obtain a maximum number of points at 1873, John Browning 1866. So that's your separation. If you look at it that way, real life, it's literally 0.6 something. So it's minimal. So I wouldn't, that battle is far from over. And if you want to look at real points with Shane Coley, so Shane's in 3rd, Robert Crow's in 4th, John Browning in 5th, and 10 points, 10.5 points separate those 3 people. That is it. So pretty good battle going on there. But I think we can almost call it, I think after one more stage where Scott only has 3 left and Joey has 3 left, if they're pretty much that same gap or just a couple points difference either way, I think we can pretty much call Scott Brown your 2023 limited champion. I think he lost to Nils last year by less than a point, if I remember correctly. Limited 10, who cares? There's only 3 people shooting. That division needs to go away forever. Bye-bye. Limited optics. Let's refresh it. Let's see what we've got here. See if anything's changed. Things have changed. Real-time points, there's a 19-point gap. That's it between Max and Casey. Very, very tight. Now, I don't know. I'll pull up what they have remaining here in a minute because it's definitely different. Practice score competitor is showing Max Leograndis being able to maximize at 1,994 points, with KC being 1,960, so a 34-point difference. Real time, it's only a 19-point difference. So let's check it out right now. Let's see where Max is at. Max has shot stage 14, but he has 15. Is that right? Am I right here? Yeah. So he has 15, 16, and 17 to shoot. He only has 3 to shoot, and he has a 19-point lead. We have a stage 15 as a 12-point, or a 12-point. I keep saying that. A 12-round stage. It looks like stage 16 is a 27-round stage, and stage 17 is a 28-round stage. So he has 2 large field courses to shoot and a shorter one. So I kind of feel like, let's go back for a minute. Let's check out KC. Does he have the same? No. Well, this is interesting. Oh, 14 and 15 must be in the same bay. So KC has shot stage 15, but not 14, and he still has 16 and 17 to go. So it'll be interesting to see where Max finishes up on 15, because that'll make a difference. Max hasn't shot it yet, and as of right now, KC's finish was 20th in the division. So if Max finishes up better than that, that'll give him a few more points for the lead. And he still has a 12 round, a 27, and 28 round to go. Should be very, very interesting. So let's go back here. Oh, there we go. Now it looks like Max has shot. So let's go back into Max real quick. There we go. Max was 15th. Remember, KC was 20th. Max ended up, oh, no, never mind. Holy cow. So KC shot stage 15 and Max shot stage 14. So now they're going to have to flip and shoot the other. So we'll wait. But that little bit of a difference right there changed it from a 19-point gap to a 25-point gap. Now, when they shoot the other stage that, KC shot 15, Max shot 14. When Max shoots 15 and KC shoots 14, now we'll have a good head-to-head comparison, and that will finalize those points. And then they can move on and shoot the last couple of stages. So this will be interesting. That's going to be a nail biter. That's a pretty Casey's done a good job of closing that gap today. So let's go down. Let's go back to the other. Let's check Nils out here. So Nils is 53 points ahead of JJ right now. Let's see. 16, 17, 18. Yeah, he's still only shot 16, 17, and 18. I don't know if this squad is just moving slow or what. Same thing with Nils. He's only shot 16, 17, and 18. Let's refresh it, make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, JJ's still the same. So Tyler has more points right now than JJ and Nils, but he's not shooting the same stages. So he's shooting zone 2 today, which would be, I think, what, 8 through 13 or 7 through 13, one of the two. So not the same stages, while JJ and Nils are shooting 14 through 21. Mason doesn't seem to have moved much, nor has Casey. Yeah, so there's not much going on right now at the moment. So let's check in with Michael Poggi and James McGinty. That's still a 90-point gap, real time points. So, you know what? Let's see if they are shooting the same stages. So, Michael Poggi has won stage 17 and 18. He was third on 19 and 20. So, he has stage 21, 14 and 14, 15, and 16. So he still has 4 to go. 21, 14, 15, 16. Let's go back over to Revolver. And same with James McGinty. So, yeah, they are shooting head to head. I like it when those guys do that. As far as I'm concerned, that's the way it should always be. When you have something like this, you need a super squad for each division. And I like it when they shoot the same stages, same day, same time frame, and they're head to head, and you can track them a little closer. Now, overall, let's just talk about handgun nationals overall. Max Leograndis is the leading overall with KC second, Scott Brown third. Your first production shooter comes all the way down at where you at, Nils? Goodness. Nils is down here a bit. Wait, why am I missing this? He can't be down that far. Obviously, I must have skipped right over him. Well, interesting. Let's go. Check this out here. I'm trying to see what his overall plate is with it. Let's go back. Here we go. $30. So he's your first production shooter. 32nd. Let's see if Scott's done anything here. Oh, there we go. Get rid of that. Doesn't look like a whole lot's been updated there on the limited side. Scott still has a 114-point lead on Joey Sauerland. Assuming Shane is on the same squad, which I would doubt that he wasn't, I would assume he is, then we are looking at another 74-point gap between Joey and Shane. So there's some. Wait. It would be way more than that. It's almost 200. So he is not shooting the same stages. Shane is not shooting. Where is Shane? What does he have to shoot? Let's see. I'm curious what zone he's in. Well, he still has 18, 19, 20, and 21. Okay. Well, that makes no sense. So why aren't his points similar? Hmm. Maybe Joey has shot an extra stage that he hasn't. Nope. Same stages. Very weird. I don't know what's going on here with practice score, but we're going to go with it. So Vince Hall is saying looks like Shane is shooting first. And that could be. That's just a weird points gap between Shane, Joey, and Scott if they all have the same number of stages. Let's see. Has Scott shot 17? Let's check that out, Vince. All right. Looks like Scott has shot stage 17, and he placed sixth in the division. Sorry about that. My phone keeps blowing up. 18, my bad. Okay. So he would have been the first one then to shoot one of the last four that they have all combined. So let's check that out. Let's go. Let's see if Shane has shot 18. I don't see it. It hasn't come up yet, but who knows? Yeah, I'm not seeing it yet. I'm curious to see. So Nil still has not shot stage 19 yet. I wonder if JJ has. No, he hasn't shot 19 yet either, but he did shoot 20. So I'm assuming then that 19 and 20 are in the same bay. They're both smaller, both 16 round stages, I'm guessing, because JJ has shot stage 20, but not stage 19. So, and I know those stages down there are bigger, so they can probably accommodate more than one stage in each bay. But it looks like as of right now, JJ for the division is first on that stage. So it'll be interesting once Nil shoots to see where he ends up. The maximum points available, the gap is 71 between Nils and JJ. All right, so you're saying it looks like Joey, Scott, then Shane, and Scott just updated for 18. Okay. Looks like Michael Poggi is still killing it in Revolver, and no real updates in. Actually, there is an update in single stack. Mike Seeklander is now 7th. Henning is in 6th. Rob Latham still holding in 5th. John Vlieger's back up to 3rd, with Jeff Cawthon now 4th. So things in single stack seem to be changing more than anywhere else. So let's go back to limited now, since it seems like we may have an update over here. Let's hit the old refresh button. There we go. Let's see if Scott did shoot 18. Yep, Scott shot 18. He's 11th for the division so far. He had 2 mics, 23 Alpha, 4 Charlie, 2 Delta, 2 mics. Interesting. That could open the door a little bit for Joey if did Joey shoot 18? Joey did shoot 18 and he was 3rd. So going back to look at that then, real-time points, there's a 40.39 point gap. And so it's 40 points. We'll call it 41 points. With 3 stages to go, we're talking he's going to have a minimum of a 13-point win on every stage and a 14 on a couple of them. So very, very interesting. Joseph, I would love to do that. That's what I wanted to do for Carry Optics Nationals. I wanted to go in and actually do it from Ohio, but it is what it is. I got a knee injury and some other stuff happened. So unfortunately, it sucked. But so here we go. So we know where limited is. Limited 10, as I said, there's only 3 shooters, so it's a dead division. But let's go back to limited optics for a moment. Let's hit a refresh because KC is trying to close that gap. And right now, the real-time gap is 19 points. Holy cow. Very interesting. And he's changed the maximum points obtainable gap to like 21. Man, KC is just tearing it up, trying to climb the chart here. And again, the gap between second and third is so big that chances are there's no chance for Trace Decker to move up. But Trace is in third. I'm going to mute for a moment. Trace is in third. Now he's moved up to third, bumped Tom Castro back to fourth. And there is a real-time gap there of 22 points. And pretty much the exact same amount on attainable. So they're obviously shooting the same stages at the same time. But you have KC with 1711.9, Max at 1730.6. So technically it's not 19, it's like 18.7, but we're going to round to 19. So very, very tight coming down to the end. Let's see what KC has left to shoot. He's got to be on zone 3, I'm guessing. He still has stage 15. Oh, and that is it. He has 1 stage remaining. Looks like he won stage 14 in limited optics. Now let's check out Max real quick. Now Max has shot 14 and 15 and 16. Nope, not 16. Max still has 16 and 17. All right, we have the expert in the room here, if you switch to stage views, all right, Eugene, you're making me you're gonna make me show my lack of knowledge of your app, and I apologize. Um, Goodness, let's see here. I see stage best combined, high available, change match. Nope, we're not gonna do that. Whoop, that's not. What do we have here? Overall results negative. Uh, all right. Well, Eugene, I'm not sure how to change the stage views because you're saying if I change, I can sort by time stamp and can then correlate stages with the squad schedule and order and can tell who is shooting next and when. This is where I obviously need to take a practice score competitor app class. I haven't given up yet. Match info, change match, search match. Well, no, none of that. I don't. All right. Well, I'm going to go with what I got. I'm going to figure that out though, Eugene, because that if you're able to do that, then that is definitely a better way than what I am doing. Oh no. How in the world did that just happen? Give me one moment. There we go. All right. Clicked the wrong button, made the whole thing disappear. Oh, we got another comment. Oh, that's the same. Oh, that was it. 3 bars at the top. Okay. Oh, wait. No. There's a pop up with a list of results overall and then stages. All right. Don't mind the silence, guys. Eugene's walking me through something here. All right. Let's just pick one. Let's 18. I think Max is up for stage 7. Must be 17. Yeah, not sure here. That has definitely thrown me for a loop. All right, there's our timestamp. Okay. Looks like stage 18. And looks like Max shot stage 18 a while back. Okay. So stage 17. Yes, definitely a different look. Let's see what's going on stage 19. I'm going to switch back for a moment. And let's go. All right, that's stages. Let's just go overall. Do that real quick. Now this will help me figure out, Eugene, what they have left to shoot. And okay, so Max still has 16 and 17. Looks like he won stage 18, but he still has 16 and 17. And let me go to KC. KC still has 16. He shot 17 and nope, I stand corrected. So he still has 16 and 17. So that's what we're looking at. All right. Now what you were saying. Oop, oop. Nope. Dang it. All right. Let's go here. Now 16 and 17. Limited. All right. Looks like Scott just shot 16 maybe. Let's go to limited optics and okay. So yeah, Max just shot 15, so 16 will be in a little bit. So that's where we're at. Okay. A little different view. I hope you guys were able to live through that for a moment. Oop, there we go. Let's not do that. Let's go. Let's just go back to overall real quick. All right, let's go to production, see what we've got going on. Let's do a quick refresh. See where we stand here. Real time, Nils is actually 27 points behind JJ. Nils is 27 points behind Nils. Nils is 27 points behind JJ, but he has 56 more points that are obtainable to him than JJ. So right now he is technically, we'll call it in the lead, but it's close. Let's see what Nils has left to shoot. So Nils still has 19. He shot 20, but he still has 19, 21, 14, and 15. So Nils still has half of his day to shoot. And JJ, let's see, he still has 14 and 15 and 21. So JJ has shot 19 and 20. And yeah, Nil still has to shoot 19. So that would explain why JJ is technically ahead of him by 27 points. But that stage is worth 80. So it'll be interesting to see once Nils shoots that. Let's do this. So we can check out, we can do what Eugene was saying here. We can go to 19 and then timestamp. Let's go to production. Looks like Nils would be up next from what Eugene was telling me, because you have JJ who shot, Brian Giovannini. So from G, and you have HI and then J. So Nils has got to be close to shooting stage 19. Mason so far is the overall stage winner in production on that one, with Nils yet to shoot. 3, 3, 3, 2, 4. So should be any minute. It's been 3 minutes since Brian's score posted, and the scores are taking anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes to post. So thank you for that help, Eugene. That was awesome. And I'm going to have to reach out to you and have you on the podcast so we can discuss the app and all the different options and abilities. I had no idea. This thing's awesome. Now what I need to start doing is, you can also type squad 202 at the top to see the full squad list where Nils is shooting. Well, well, well. I take it that would be in the search bar. This thing is much more powerful than I anticipated, but I don't use it that often. So yes, okay. Well, you know what? Let's give that a shot. Let's do what he says. Let's go, and I'm going to type squad 202, and there we go. Boom. Yeah, Nils hasn't shot. Oh, okay. So actually, Austin Hull should be the next shooter. Thank you again, Eugene. Looky there. And then Nils should be after that. Looks like they're the last two shooters on the squad. Boom. Oh, no. Brennan Decker was disqualified. Oh, no. Well, that's no good. Dang it. I heard that Nick Reynolds was disqualified due to falling. I'm not sure what exactly happened there, but that's what I've heard. All right. So we're still waiting on Austin and Nils. Nils is the last shooter on the stage here. So stage 19. He did. Maybe I need to refresh this thing then. There we go. Yep. He sure did. Nils was fourth. JJ was second. So JJ is going to pick up a few points on Nils. 73 to 78. Picked up about 5 points on Nils there. All right. There we go. Let's go back to overall results. And refresh. All right. So, real-time points. Hey, Manny. Welcome. Eugene has been schooling me on the Practice Score Competitor app. Man is a wealth of knowledge. So, real-time points right now, just updating. Stage 19 being completed. We are looking at a 46-point lead for Nils going into 20, 21, 14, and 15. So 4 stages left, 46-point lead. So that's going to be, at least 12 points each stage is what JJ is going to need to make up. Some of that's going to be difficult with these smaller stages. Like that was an 80-point stage. He was able to make up 5 points. If let's scroll down real quick. And actually there's only 3 stages left. Let me make sure that JJ is in the same boat. Yeah, JJ's in the same boat. So JJ needs to win each stage by 15 points. The problem is stages 14 and 15 are only 60-point stages. So to try to win that by 15 points is, man, that is asking a lot. That's asking for something for Nils to have a problem, really. I don't foresee any other way that JJ makes up all those points in 3 stages when 2 of them are only 60-point stages. So that's a difficult one. So you could almost say, I would be willing to say this. They have one more big field stage, stage 21. If JJ can only make up a few points on that one, then you could pretty much say Nils is going to be the 2023 production national champion. Just because there wouldn't be enough available points for JJ to be able to pull off the win. That's why I say that. All right, so with that, now we can go back to limited. Let's do another quick update here, see where we stand. Yeah, we still have the 40-point gap between Scott and Joey. The gap between Joey and Shane now is a little bit more accurate, with it being a 31 and a half point lead. And that's exactly the difference in the attainable point. So that one, we're getting to the point where now everything's being, the points we're seeing and the maximum attainable are pretty close. Jonathan Miller is the only one down there that's a little different. So he's obviously shot a stage or two ahead of the others. But right now, Scott's got a 40-point lead on Joey, and let's see what still has 19, 20, and 21 to shoot. So he has 3 stages to shoot. Let's make sure Joey's in the same boat with 3 stages to shoot. Yep, he has 3 stages to shoot. So that's going to be quite a bit of 3 stages to shoot, and he's in the same boat that JJ's in. He's got he's looking at a 13 to 14 point stage win. He's got to gain over Scott in order to make up that ground. And Shane, he's got to have 10 to 11 points on every stage over Joey. So I'm not seeing where that is going to happen. I think the bigger races, Shane and Robert Crow, there's a 5-point gap, literally a 5-point real-time points gap with a 2-point maximum attainable gap. And 12 points behind Robert Crow in 5th is John Browning. So that 3rd, 4th, and 5th is still up for grabs in a way. I think Gianni's too far back at this point in 6th to move up into the top 5. So, but he's got a big gap on Gorka. So he's probably staying put at 6th. All right, so let's go back down to Revolver, where Michael Poggi is putting on a clinic. Yeah, he's 97 points ahead of James McGinty right now. So I cannot imagine, I can't foresee anything other than an act of God that would stop Michael Poggi from winning Revolver Nationals yet again. So, so Guerin is in 6th. We talked about this earlier. Jay Slater is in 5th. Jay is still shooting, but he can attain. Now he's up to 62 points more than Guerin, so he's actually doing well. I agree, Manny. Guerin is crushing it. I even said that last night on my update. This guy is really not putting any time into it, so doing great. Yeah, Alex in 4th is doing great as well, and he's pretty much secured 4th with a chance for moving up into 3rd. So that'll be in it. He's only 15 points behind at the moment out of 3rd, so that is definitely up for grabs. But Michael Poggi's pretty much told everybody that he said, nope, not this year, ISIS. He is winning. All right, looking at single stack. see if anybody's made any moves on Elias right now, and that looks like a big no. Um, yeah, I don't see where anybody's really going to overtake him with how well he is shooting. The real question is, where are we at between? So Jeff Cawthon is done. John Vlieger is not done. Um, he's in third. His maximum attainable is 14 points more than Jeff Cawthon has right now. So that's really going to be up to how well John shoots to determine whether or not he stays there. I don't think that Caesar he can attain 1,899 points, which would put him roughly 60 points ahead of Jeff. So that might be enough phantom points that he can maintain his position and actually finish off in second. Henning is still shooting, but right now he's projected to finish sixth. And it's probably, but again, that's only 9 points ahead of where Mike Seeklander sits right now. So Mike could, I mean, Henning and Walgren, they could be either one. Rob Latham is only 3 points ahead of Henning. So in phantom points. So it'll be interesting. That fifth, sixth, and seventh, who knows where they're all going to finish. Yeah, Manny, Jeff Cawthon, I wouldn't say is kicking his butt, Jeremy Reed's butt. I would say he did because they are both done shooting and he beat him by 67 points. So it's about 3%. So he beat him by 67 points. He's a solid top five. He's not going anywhere. He could technically finish in third, but he's not going any further down than fourth. So good for Jeff. Everybody, they're slugging it out pretty good there. I just don't see anybody overtaking Elias for the overall win. Michael Poggi is going to win Revolver. Chances are Nils is going to win production. And I think Max and KC are too close to call at the moment because, one flubbed reload or a malfunction, something like that. Who knows? And then not hitting enough points. Who knows what can happen there? So I'm not calling limited optics, but limited, I think, again, barring some weird occurrence, I think we're looking at Scott Brown being your 2023 limited winner, national champ, Nils being your 2023 production national champ, Michael Poggi, your 2023 Revolver National Champ, and Elias Frangoulis being your 2023 Single Stack National Champion. Really, the only one up for debate right now is that limited optics. That is definitely going to come down to the wire. And let's see what. Yeah, KC still has to shoot. He just shot stage 21 and was first in the division, and that was a 140-point stage. So good for him. He still has. He shot 14 and 15. So shot 21, 14, 15. Now he has 16 and 17. And those are big stages, 135 and 140 points each. So that, if he does really well, it's not inconceivable to make up a 25-point difference. That is doable. Now let's check out Max real quick. Looks like Max might have already shot one of them. Yeah, he did. So Max shot stage 16 and was second so far in the division. So he did really well on 16. He's going to make it very hard for KC to make up any time, any points whatsoever there. Max only has stage 17 left. That's it. So if Max wins limited optics, that's a huge, huge win for him, especially over someone like KC. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're on the same squad, Manny, shooting at the same time. So it's head to head, and for you can't say Max has never been in this position before. Maybe not with a pistol, but the guy is super dominant with a PCC. So mentally, this is nothing new to him. This is the same thing. It's just I've never known Max to be this good with a pistol. So good for him. It'll be interesting now. It's really going to come down to can KC, man, he's going to have to win his stage basically to gain any points on Max. So that is going to be very, very, very interesting. Oh, that's the only real race left from what I can tell. Again, barring any other unforeseen circumstances that would doom one of the other leaders in their respective divisions. I keep trying to check in on Nils and JJ because that's probably one of the closer ones, but I'm not really seeing any changes there. 14, 15. Yeah, so they have Nils was just second in stage 20. They have 3 stages left. Where is come on. JJ. So JJ won stage 20 and Nils was second. How you're trying to make up lead on the guy in first place. You win the stage, you're like, woohoo! And then the guy comes in and takes second. You're like, son of a. And it's only an 80-point stage. So he's not going to be winning a whole lot of points on the stage. That's got to be rough. It's like, what do I have to do? Let's see how many. Yeah. He gained 1.7 points on Nils. Not even that much, actually. It's like 1.67 points on Nils for winning a stage. Manny, I've only looked at a couple, and I haven't looked at them. I've seen Nick Reynolds got disqualified and Brennan Decker. I don't know what happened to Brennan. I know Nick. Someone was telling me Nick Reynolds got disqualified when he fell. Someone has been messaging me, letting me know that they don't feel that the footing in Marengo is the best. A lot of deep gravel that's loose in places, and that the person was refraining from moving at 100% just to make sure he didn't end up in the same boat as Nick. I don't know. I'm not there. I'm just stating what I've heard. So if that's not the case, okay. I'm not sure. That's all I know. I haven't looked at the other DQs at the moment. If I'm missing anything, let me know. So 3 stages left with Nils and JJ. And with the way Nils is shooting, it doesn't look like JJ's really going to be able to pull off any major wins. His best chance right now is stage 21. He needs to win it and then, have Nils finish in like 20th place in the division, because the last 2 stages they have, they're only 60-point stages. So even if Nils were to finish 20th in the division there, we're only talking 4, 5, 6, 7 points, whatever it is, which isn't going to be enough when you're 46 points down. Yeah. Looking at the limited again here, trying to see what Scott has left. Scott has two stages left, 19 and 21. So he was first on stage 20. There's only Stu. Oh my goodness. There's only two stages left, and he has a pretty whopping lead right now over Joey. Let me check Joey real quick. Yeah. Joey has 20 and 21. Scott has 19 and 21. So I'm going to call it now that Scott Brown is your 2023 limited national champion. I know that's early, but again, as long as he doesn't have something crazy happen to his equipment or his guns, then stage one is chrono. Okay. Stage 21 is chrono. The app is not showing live updates because let me go back. So Eugene, in the app, it's showing stage 22 is chrono. So you're saying stage 21 is chrono. I'm showing that there are two stages left, stage 19 and 21, and you're saying there is no 21. Well, if that's the case, it's definitely over. Damn, you're right again. It's okay. Eugene, I will never claim to know more than you about this app. Trust me. Never, ever. So it's all right. It's all good. All right. So there we are. So yeah, it's pretty much a done deal. Again, as long as there's no crazy interference from something, Scott is your national champ. Right now, there's a Robert Crow's in third. He's moved up to third. Shane has dropped down to fourth. Real time, there's a 67-point gap between Shane and Robert, but when you look at maximum attainable, there's only a 4-point difference. So that means they've shot different stages. So Robert and Shane are still jockeying for position for third. And right behind them really is John Browning. So third, fourth, and fifth are all up for grabs. Pretty much Gianni has 6 locked in. I don't see him being able to close any gap. So 6 is going to be Gianni. Brody and Gorka are still shooting, and they're pretty close to each other. So those two could jockey for 7th and 8th. Jonathan Miller could move up to 8th, but probably not. So Scott Brown, 2021, 2023 limited national champion. So he got what Nils prevented him from getting last year. All right, so looks like we have some updates on the scores in limited optics, which is your tightest race. This is Max and KC. Max has pushed the lead up to 26 points. And let's check out what they still have left to go. So one stage remaining. It's a 140 round stage for Max. He has to shoot stage 17. I'm going to go back for a minute. Now we're going to check out KC. Same exact thing. I can't imagine that this might be, Eugene, where we go and just watch stage 17 for these guys. Do you know what squad they are by chance? Squad, I guess I could just randomly punch in squad numbers 201, 203, 204, 205. Eventually I'll hit on something. It's like playing a battleship, you know? E4. Miss. So I think I'm going to try. Let's see what happens. Squad 205. 204. Okay. So close. Oop, there we go. Boom. And let's go down to 17. Looky there. Max and Casey are left to shoot. Let's see if there's anybody else left. Oh. Now let's put in squad 204. Okay, that didn't work. I didn't want my face to show, Manny, so I can that way I can look around on the different computer screens. So I just didn't add my face to be viewable in my screen on EVMux. Oh, the only thing, but I'm added so you can hear the microphone, but you can't see my face. Nobody wants to see my face. This is not working. Let's go. Okay, there we go. Let's just go back here. All right. All right. There we go. All we have to do is wait on stage 17. That's the only one that's in question. That will determine all of your national champions this year. We are almost there. Wow, Tom Castro has, very interestingly, he started the day off in third and he is now in fifth. Very, very interesting. Cameron Templin is in fourth. He's still shooting. Trace Decker is still shooting. But right now, Trace is 54 points ahead of Tom. Now, Trace is in third. He's not going to catch KC or Max, so he's in third. And he has a pretty solid lead on third because Cameron Templin's in fourth, 52 points behind. Tom is 54 points behind. Okay, 10 to 15 minutes, and we should have our first shooter from stage, our squad 204. So we still have a little bit of time before squad 204, which is limited optics, actually hits stage 17 and starts shooting. Now, Cameron Templin and Tom Castro, or there's only 2 points separating them right now. Cameron can theoretically obtain more points than Tom, which is why he's in fourth on the competitor app. And Andrew Hyder is still shooting, and he's right behind him. So shoot. I think Nick Walden is too far back in seventh to really be able to move up into fifth, unless somebody has a couple of people have catastrophic failures. I just don't, procedurals, failure to shoot ads, that type of thing, failure to engage, whatever. So it's tight, very tight. So this whole limited optics is much tighter than the other races. Now let's go to production. All right. Whoa. Yeah, I agree, Manny. It is hard to track when they're on different, shooting different things. Um, and even with production, Tyler Turner is not shooting the same zones. It's at least easier when they shoot the same zone, even if they're not on the same squad. But when they're not on the same squad and they're not shooting the same zones, it's much more difficult. So you got Nils still in first. JJ probably not going to catch him. Tyler in third. Um, Tyler is done shooting. So it looks like JJ will finish ahead of him. Mason is done shooting. He's in fourth. Mason, worst case, will finish fourth. No, Tyler's not on the super squad. Okay, Eugene. So you're saying Tom pushed on 12 and 13 and didn't do well. All right, that explains why he's been dropping. Phil is done. Looks like a no, I'm sorry. Phil is not done. I don't know why I thought he was done. So it looks like almost, not quite. John Treat is in ninth and he is done. Russell Maskey is in 10th and he is done. 11th is done. But your top 7, 8, your top 8 shooters are all still shooting other than Tyler. Tyler Turner is done. Right now, JJ needs to 11. He needs 132 points to move ahead or stay ahead of, I guess, move ahead, stay ahead, whatever you want to say, of Tyler. So, but worst case, Tyler is locked in at third. So great showing for him. Manny, that would be it. There you go. Squad 203 just started stages 14 and 15. Okay. Now, Eugene, I don't have the I normally take a screenshot of the squads, but you can't see any of those squads. They block them out on practice score for third party viewing. So I don't know who is in any of the squads that we would consider the super squads, like 201, 202, 203, 204. If there's a 205, I don't know who's in those. So I don't know who squad 203 is. I don't know if that's your production or what. So it looks like 21. Yeah, I mean, Nil still has 3 stages to shoot. And I would assume, okay, so single stack and revolver. Okay. All right, so they're starting that combined 14 and 15 stages. Okay, cool. Yeah, so right now both JJ and Nil still have 3 stages to shoot as well. Let me check something real quick here. All right. I was just curious what the power factor was with difference between JJ and Nils. Not that it matters. It's just out of curiosity. I happened to see JJ's at 138. So I was like, I wonder what Nils is. And he was 133. I think it was Jayleese Williams. I messaged her because I think she had a hit factor of like 147 in minor. It's like, what? What are you thinking? All right. So revolver and single stack are. Let's go to revolver. Man, what a non-race that has become. Michael Poggi has just imposed his will. All right, so they still have 14 and 15 plus 16. So So is stage 21 a bunch of mini poppers then, Manny? I know you mentioned you were going to go down to nationals and just observe. So I'm assuming you're saying that because stage 21, the big field stage, has mini poppers. Or is that 14 and 15 they still have to shoot? So 14 and 15 are small, 21's a big field stage. And I'm looking right now at Michael Poggi, and yeah, he only has four. I thought he had 16 as well. Yeah, it's 14, 15, and 16 to go, and then he'll be done. And he'll wrap up 2023. But his lead is so big that I can't imagine anybody does anything to take that title away from him. Not this year. And I don't know if anybody saw, but Jerry Michalik just set another world record. I saw that on the gram. Colt posted it. NRA posted it. So it's out there. If you look at them on Instagram, he just set I forget how many. He shot 6 plates down on a plate rack and like with a revolver in like 1.8 seconds or something. It's something, I don't remember what it was. Something crazy. So, but 1 and 2 is pretty much locked up in revolver. Michael Poggi 1, James McGinty 2, and then you have Rich Wolf, Alex Bakken, and Jay Slater pulling up third, fourth, and fifth. And there's a chance that some of those can shuffle a little bit, mainly between Rich and Alex. So, yeah, 188. There you go. What happened to Todd Jarrett? Ooh, I have no idea. That doesn't sound good, though. You saying Todd got DQ'd or just a poor score? I guess we could. Let's go to combined. Limited optics minor. Let's check him out. Is he done? Yeah, looks like Todd is done, and he finished what looks to be 23rd in the division. Oh, I haven't heard that, Manny, but I may have to reach out and and ask him. All right, not seeing a whole lot of change really anywhere else, but let's go check single stack. We haven't been there in a few minutes. Brian Conley said something about it, but I had no details. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to reach out, find out what happened to Todd. All right, so single stack. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of movement here. So Elias still there. John's in third. Cawthon's in fourth. Rob's in fifth. Henning sixth. Yeah. So really, Henning holds his position in his own hands right now. So I don't think he's going to catch Rob for fifth, but I mean, he could actually slip below Mike Seeklander at seventh. So he could end up seventh. I don't think he can improve to fifth, but who knows? He would have to beat Rob by 21 points here coming down the stretch, or 22 to be able to overtake him. Again, Elias is locked in. I can't imagine that he's going to lose a 66-point lead here at the end. Let's see what Elias still has to shoot. And Elias has a bunch of first place finishes too. Whoa, why does it? Okay, here we go. Looks like he only has, nope, he has 14 and 16 left. He was third in the division on stage 15. So if he just keeps shooting the way he's been shooting, if everything marches out, it's done and over. Everything's done but the name inscription on the trophy. So I can't imagine that he doesn't win that. Okay. Yeah, no change here. Oh, wait, there is a change. Robert Crow went from fourth to fifth. John Browning is now in fourth. So there is I don't know what happened there. We may have to go check that out. But Robert Crow is 21 points behind John Browning. So let's see if we can figure out what just happened. He was 48th on stage 20. Oh, he had a no-shoot, a mic and a no-shoot. So there you go. So now we know Robert Crow on stage 20 had a mic no-shoot and dropped him from where he was to fourth place. I think he either dropped to fourth or dropped to fifth. So, and it dropped him quite a ways down. He was 48th on that stage in the division. So that hurt considerably. Yeah, he dropped from fourth to fifth. So chances are he has to beat Shane by 30 points on the last stage. 31 points, technically, really, to overtake him for third. And 21 points, 21.6 points to overtake John for fourth. So these are getting locked in at the moment now. Things are coming down. And yeah. And it's actually pretty tight between Robert and Gianni now. In real life, they have a 3-point difference. Robert Crow's at 1731, Gianni's at 1728. And there's a 9-point difference in maximum attainable points. So that fifth place, Gianni could, Robert has another stage like that, or if he shoots conservative because he just had a mic no shoot and he gets in his head and he shoots conservative and Gianni lays it out there, Robert could end up dropping from fourth down to sixth. Let's see, where did he start the day? He started in fourth. So, and he was about roughly 29 points ahead of John Browning. Jonathan Miller was in sixth, 3 points behind John. He is now slipped all the way down to eighth. So, we have to, and he's done shooting. So his day is over. It'll be Gorka is still shooting, so he doesn't have as many points as Jonathan Miller, but he could end up 30 points ahead of him on potential. So we'll have to see how that plays out. So there is some movement in limited. A little bit of drama. All right. We are limited optics. Okay, so Max must have just shot because he is like 70 points ahead of KC, but that obviously means KC hasn't shot. So let's go and see what Max has done. He may have finished shooting. Max is done. So Max is done shooting. He has finished out, and it looks like Max Leograndis is your 2023 Limited Optics National Champion. He finished with 1,992 points, basically 1,993 because it's 0.9288. So it's only, 7.12 points difference. So not a whole lot there. And KC, the maximum number of points he can get on the last stage would bump him up to 1,960. So that would still put him 32 points shy. So right there, in limited optics, your national champion is going to be for 2023, Max Leograndis. The very first year we have one, he is the winner. Trace Decker is completed, and he's not moved. He's in third, and he's staying there. Oh boy! So Eugene with the quick update. Nils killed it on stage 21, and JJ had a mic. So that is probably, as I said, Nils. Chances are he was going to win, but that would safely secure it. So we'll go there in a minute. But so it looks like all of the positions are pretty much locked in. Now, here's the thing. So Max is first. KC is second. Trace Decker will be third. There's no way that Tom Castro can catch him. Tom's in fourth with Nick Walden not far behind. So Nick, if Tom doesn't do what he needs to do, then Nick could sneak into fourth. But chances are he'll be where he's at. And you have Cameron Templin at sixth. He's done shooting. However, he could end up fifth because Nick is still shooting, and the maximum number of points he can obtain is 1,802, but Cameron sits at 1,798, and he's done. So Nick is going to have to maximize his potential to stay in fifth, or he is going to be in sixth. So with that, let's go to what Eugene was just talking about. Let's go to everybody's favorite production. That's a joke. And right now, Nils is up quite a bit. But let's see if JJ has shot 21 yet. He did. This match is so. Let's check something here. JJ was 13th in the division. He had 102 points on that stage. Let's see what Nils ended up with on 21. He won the stage and got 140. So there you go. There's your gap. And it's a big one. So now you end up with Nils. They have two stages left. They're small stages. And Nils is 84 points ahead going into the last two stages. So that's pretty much over. JJ's only 5 points from overtaking Tyler and maintaining that projected second place finish. So it should be Nils, JJ, Tyler, and then the fourth and fifth is still up, and sixth are still all up for grabs. Brian Giovannini is fourth. Mason Lane is fifth. Casey Reed is sixth for now. But we're looking at 1710, 1702, 1693. So those three are close enough that a Mike no shoot by one of them will definitely affect the finish. I mean, right now, Brian is at 90.61% and Mason is at 90.06%. With Casey at 89.69. So you can see just how close those are. But the gap between Casey in sixth and Phil in seventh is a 3.5% gap. So that's pretty much solidified. Casey's probably not going to finish worse than sixth. He could finish as high as fourth. Now we just have that race for the finish at the end, that short sprint, that last 50 yards, who's going to win it to come in fourth. So, but Nils, so we pretty much have we know who the national champs are. Now we're just trying to figure out their finish in the top five. So again, it's Scott Brown is your limited champ. Max Leo Grandis is going to be your limited optics champ. Nils is your production. Michael Poggi is your revolver. And Elias Frangoulis is your single stack. And now it's just a matter of where does everybody else fall in line with it. And I'm trying to take a look at some of these other, like I'm looking at single stack. I know this thing's going to switch on me. So single stack just updated, and I just updated it. And John Vlieger is on the competitor app. He's in third, but if he doesn't finish out the way he should, then he could slip to fourth. I doubt he would slip all the way down to fifth. He would have to have a pretty remarkable mistake. But it looks like Rob Latham has put in a little bit of a gap between him and Henning Wahlgren, who's at sixth. And Henning is holding a 9-point lead, projected 9-point lead right now on Mike Sieklander, who's in seventh. So that one's pretty much done. Let's check Garen over here. Garen. Revolver Garen has slipped down to seventh. Remember now, he started the day in fourth. He's now in seventh. And he is done. And everything, he can't finish worse than seventh. Now, still a great finish for Garen. But when he started it off the day in fourth, I was super excited, hoping he could be in the top five. Vincent Gunther is in sixth, and he potentially will be 59 points ahead of him. That's his maximum attainable. So he probably will finish ahead of Garen. So Jay Slater looks like he's pretty much locked up fifth. Alex, there you go. The other Alex, the Manny Alex. Your buddy Alex, it looks like he's pretty much locked up fourth. Rich Wolf looks like he's probably going to lock up third. There's a 19-point gap there between him and Alex, so there's a chance, but so it's definitely Poggi and McGinty, and then it's either going to be Rich Wolf or Alex back in for third and fourth, and then Jay's in fifth. Now behind, that fourth, fifth, sixth in production is going to be very, very interesting. So nothing's changed there yet. Let's go. Yeah. All right. Limited optics is done. I'm not even going to. I'm trying to see. Yeah, the only thing in limited optics in play really is fifth place. Is it going to be Nick Walden or Cameron Templin? Tom Castro is done, so he's locked in at fourth. Nobody can move up and take his position. And he cannot move up and take Trace Decker's position because Trace is done as well. So there you go. Third and fourth place in Limited Optics Nationals. So now we know first, second, third, fourth. It's Max Leo Grandis, KCU CBO, Trace Decker, Tom Castro, and now is it going to be Nick Walden or Cameron Templin? That is the only other question at the moment. So that is it. Let's go back to limited. Oh, no, I wanted to go to limited. There we go. Let's check these guys real quick. And let's see what they have. You see the dates for next year yet? Yes, I did. And what is it? Open and PCC Nats in the middle of October. So next weekend, next year in CMP for Open and PCC Nats, and they better finish early because it's going to be dark that time of year down there, especially when you can't start shooting until 9 o'clock. All right, so Shane not going to be able to catch Joey. So it's Scott, Joey. I'm trying to check. Third is still in play because John can still overtake Shane. What does Shane still have to shoot? 21. Looks like he has one stage left. Yep. So Shane has stage 21 to shoot, and John's probably the same. Yes. So it's a maximum of 140 points. And there's only a 9-point separation. So this could literally be the difference. I mean, if you look at what JJ and Nils did on stage 21, Nils did really well, and JJ had a mic, and it really bumped that gap. So this could also potentially do the same thing. One of them has a mic, then, if John has a mic, then it'll secure it for Shane. But if Shane has a mic, then that opens the door for John. So third and fourth are not solidified in limited. Fifth is not either. Again, there's only a 3-point gap between Robert Crow and Gianni. So third and fourth and fifth and sixth are not decided. So we know who all the champions are. We pretty much know who second place is going to be. We don't know what some of these other top 5 places, who they are going to be. So that's where we're at right now. Let me take a drink of coffee. All right. Looks like everybody's down to their last stage. Max is done. So Casey just has what's 17. And that is it. Casey has a stage 17. I assume he is Manny. Manny's asking if Scott Brown is shooting on the super squad because him and Joey and Shane are all shooting the same zone. So I'm assuming that he is. Yeah. Let me go down to Shane real quick. Yeah. All three, top 3 in limited. Scott, Joey, and Shane all have to shoot stage 21 in zone 3 still. So I'm assuming same thing with John Browning. Let's see, Robert Crow. Yep, Robert still has to shoot it. And Gorka. Right. It looks like they just maybe have started Eugene on stage 21 because all the top guys still have to shoot stage 21. So that's their last stage. Every single one of them. That's funny. You have to go all the way down to Jonathan Miller at 8 before you find the first competitor in limited who is done shooting. Travis Tomasi has moved up to 9th. He was at 12th at one point. So that can be his best finish, is ninth. I thought Scott still was. You know what? That is weird. If I actually have practice score up on the other side, then that would for sure. We'll find out real quick. No, Scott Brown is not a junior. 8 people before Shane shoots, last in squad 201, and about 3 minutes between shooters. Okay. Thank you, Eugene. So that means John will shoot probably right before Shane, and then we'll have an idea of exactly what Shane needs to do to close it out to maintain third. And Joey should be shooting pretty early then. Eugene says apparently Rob Latham is not senior or super senior. I think he's both. We may have to use 3 S's. What is the what distinguished senior? Is that the next one? He's distinguished senior. What? Oh, because I'm here overall. Interesting. Now, if you in pulling up the scores on actual practice score on the interwebs, it shows senior, but I think he could fit in a much higher category. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. So, but that guy is still killing it. Oh, interesting. No category declared in the posted results. Well, we know that's wrong. Let's see. As a matter of fact, he would be your senior division champion because none of the other guys. I don't know Caesar. I don't know that guy. I'm assuming he is not a senior. So let me show. No, he's foreign. Interesting. It just says foreign. Okay. Or maybe you found a glitch in the app. I think you found it, Eugene, not me. I'm just doing what you're telling me to do. It looks like they still have top 5, 6. Top 6 still have to shoot Revolver as well. Oh, Max. Let's see where we at. Nels. Yep, Nels still has 14 and 15. He hasn't shot that yet. And JJ has not shot 14 or 15 yet either. So we're still waiting on that. So still just waiting on a few things to close this out. Coming right down to the very end. And Robert Crow is done. He is complete. Gianni cannot catch him. The most Gianni can get is 1848, and Robert Crow finished at 1856. Therefore, Robert will be fifth. Gianni will be sixth. Now it just comes down to third and fourth. And Joey is complete. Joey is done. So now we're seeing them finish. So let's go stage 21. Travis just shot. Oh, right now, Joey has a stage win in limited for stage 21. Travis just shot. He was fourth. Robert Crow was third. Oh, look at that. Jay Lease Williams was 17th. Good job, Jay Lease. Good for you. That's the second biggest division next to Limited Optics. I think they had 150 in their division. Let me confirm. Match breakdown. I just like using that as a quick reference. Yeah. Limited Optics had 150. Limited says 143. Practice score app, competitor app showing 133. So you probably had some no shows. Production, I think, had 100 when I looked in there, and it's showing here 110. So yeah, Limited Optics was your biggest division, followed by Limited, and Production was third. And Limited 10 had 3. That's why I'm like, it's just got to go. It's done. It's over. Put a fork in it. It's like that piece of meat. It's like that small little piece of meat that came off your steak and fell between the grates and is down in the coals of your briquettes. So that's Limited 10. It's pretty much going to just burn into a crisp and disappear. It's pretty much done. Oh, interesting, Eugene. So Eugene posted that Robert, his last name, the foreigner guy, Caesar, shows 98% to second place in the IPSC European Championship 1 week ago. Okay. That's a good point, Manny. More shooters were bumped to open than are shooting limited 10. How sad is that? Carry optics, too. No, I don't think there were any when I checked it earlier. I think it just shows that it's there. Yeah, it was open. Yeah, that's what I was looking at, too. Seeing how many people were in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people bumped to open and 3 people shooting limited 10. Well, pooper duper. All right, so I'm going to refresh this thing here and see if anybody else has shot. Jack Brown has shot. He was 5th on stage 21. So you got the Brown brothers shooting together. Which that Brown Jack being 5th bumped Jay Lease down to 18th. Joey still has 1st. Scott wins. Oh yeah, Scott. Yeah, Vince. We called Scott. All the winners are known, Vince. We've got Scott, your limited winner. Limited Optics is Max. Nils wins production. Michael Poggi wins Revolver, and Elias is your single stack national champ. Those are your national champs. What we're doing now is just figuring out where everybody else is falling and where they're going to finish out at. Like right now, the big one is Robert Crow and Shane Coley in limited. So, who was second on stage 21 in limited? I'm probably going to have to scroll pretty far down. Ooh, boy. Yeah, I'm scrolling way down to find number 2. Manny Bragg was 8. Oh, Brody Adkisson. There we go. He was second thus far. 130. Come on. Let's go to the top. Wow. Now here's something interesting. So Joey was first at 140. Second place, Brody got 130. Third place, Robert Crow has 125 points. So very interesting. It wouldn't take much for Shane to drop. Interesting. Looky there. John Browning is third. So Scott now is first. That's a stage win for Scott. John Browning is third, and he has 130 out of 140 points. Joey has 137 out of 140. So between third and fifth, that's a 7-point drop. Interesting. So let's do something real quick. Let's go back. All right, so Shane can max out at 1887. John Browning finished out at 1883. So Shane basically needs to beat John on that stage. If he doesn't, if he drops 5 points below him, he's not gonna beat him. He's gonna actually end up fourth, and John, let me go back. Yeah, John will be third. So let's go back to stage 17 real quick. Ooh, very, very tight. Or I'm sorry, it should be 21, not 17. All right. Yeah. Oh boy. Again, so I'm not going to scroll down to find. Yeah, I'm not scrolling way down to find fourth. It's not worth it. But third to fifth is 7 points. So if Shane ends up fifth and John ends up third on this stage, that should be enough to overtake Shane for third. Ooh, this is a tight one. It'll be interesting. Yeah, because Travis was sixth, Robert Crow was fifth, and they're both basically 7 points behind John. Now, Shane could end up taking fourth on the stage in the division and winning by like a point or two. So this is going to be interesting. 1736, 1739. So should be over any minute. Within the next minute, there's Shane, and he was 10th. So that should have changed the standings. That is a 16-point difference. Oh, boy. Let me update. Yep, there it is. John Browning is third in the nation in limited, and he beat Shane by 8 points. It all came down to that last stage. Holy cow. So there you go. There's your finish right there. Scott Brown's your winner. Joey Sauerland, who's only been shooting for 2 years and really competitive last year and a half, is second. Shane got a mic on 21. Wow. Man, that crushed him. So it all came down to points, and he didn't have the points. John Browning's third, Shane Coley fourth, Robert Crow fifth, Gianni Giordano sixth, Gorka seven, Travis Tomasi eight, and Jonathan Miller, Brody Atkinson pretty much round out your top 10. Wow. Limited Optics is done, and these are your finishes. Max Leograndis, your champion. Casey second. Trace Decker third. Tom Castro fourth. And Nick Walden fifth, with Cameron Templin sixth. Andrew Hyder seven. Jim Steele, Sammy Nelson, and Case Ryan round out your top 10. Production, it's still underway, but it's decided, at least for 1 and 2 and 3. So you have Nils, JJ, Tyler Turner, Brian Giovannini. Oh, no. Actually, hold on a second. It looks like Tyler got bumped to fourth. Brian Giovannini is 26 points behind Tyler, but his max attainable is 1,813. Tyler sits at 1,796. So it looks like Tyler will be fourth. Casey Reed will be fifth. Mason Lane sixth. Assuming these hold out, Phil will be seventh. Stephen Lutman eighth. And it goes down John Treat and Russell Maskey. So that's where we pretty much sit. I'm trying to see if there's any real chance. The only real Mason can still move into fifth from sixth. He's 10 points behind the maximum attainable of Casey Reed right now. Casey Reed cannot catch Tyler Turner for fourth. So Brian Giovannini holds his future in his hands. He can hold on to third, or he can relinquish it back to Tyler. We'll have to wait and see. But most of the other places are locked up. Really, the only other position is fifth. Does Brian hold on to third, and does Casey hold on to fifth? So we'll have to. Those are the only ones left. Revolver. Let's see if they're still shooting. They are still shooting. Looks like Michael Poggi still has to shoot his last stage. And right now, Rich Wolf has an 8-point lead over Alex Bakken. Jay Slater is locked into fifth. Yeah, he's locked into fifth. So looks like Guerin will be seventh. Vincent Gunther will be sixth. Caleb Higbee will be eighth. David Olhasso at 9, and Bill Thorpe at 10. Now let's go down here and see what's happened in single stack to see where Rob Latham is at the moment. Look at that. Tim Herron moved up big time. Tim Herron is currently in sixth. Henning Wahlgren has dropped all the way down to 7. Mike Seeklander has dropped to 8th. Jeremy Reed is in 9th. I predicted that Jay would be 5th, so that's cool. Yeah, Jay's a good guy. I like seeing him in the top 5. I like seeing Garin, a new guy to Revolver, shooting as well as he did. So it looks like John Vlieger is pretty much locked up third. Um, Elias is locked up one. Caesar two. John three. Jeff Cawthon is going to be number four. And it looks like Rob Latham will be five, with Tim Herron sixth. Now that's a tight one, because theoretically he's only 8 points ahead of Henning. So he's got to finish out strong to maintain his sixth. Then you have Henning, Mike Sieklander, Jeremy Reed, and Garrett Heinrich in 10th. And I don't think, yeah, he's done. The guy behind him is done. Heron can still beat Latham on stage 16 to get fifth or fourth. Yeah, I don't. He can't get fourth because he's too far behind Jeff Cawthon. Tim's maximum is 1789, and Jeff has 1834. But he could theoretically overtake Rob, but he's 22 points. He'd have to overtake Rob by 22 points to do it. So that would be tight. And I don't even know if they're shooting. Let's check out. What does he still have to shoot? Stage 16, is that it? Yep, stage 16. And come on. Let's see what Rob has left. Same thing. Yep. So they both have stage 16. So let's go to stage 16 and single stack. Let me go. What? I got to scroll back up through the comments for just a moment. Oh, yeah, you're right, Eugene. If Elias hasn't shot, then that would change the order. Um, there we go. Okay. Yeah, none of them have shot yet. So I'll leave that up for now. Looks like there's five of them on that squad, and it's Tim Herron, Caesar, Elias Frangoulis, John Vlieger, and Rob Latham. None of them have shot yet. So now we know. Let me write that. And let's go back to overall. The good thing for Tim is it is a big squad. So, yeah, I kind of feel like the gap is so big, Eugene, that I don't know that Tim can overcome that. That's a big gap. So he would need a lot of help. Oh, good question, Manny. When's the next Casual Shooters podcast dropping? I was actually in the process of editing one earlier today when I switched over to this. So I'm hoping by tomorrow night I can have that one edited. There's a lot of gaps in it, so I've got to do a lot of editing. So there isn't a lot of dead air time. It's not what people want to listen to. So I hope to have the last of the Prairie Fire stuff out soon too. So Tim did well on stage 21 too. Okay. Yeah. Just man, that's a big gap. He's got to overcome 2+%. It'll be interesting. I guess it's doable depending on how well he shoots and let's see, what did Jeff do on 21? Let's check that. That might be the best thing. So Jeff was 18th. He had two mics. Wow. So really, yeah, I did, Manny. So yeah, Eugene. I mean, all five of those technically could place ahead of Jeff and push him down in the standings. So it is possible. All right. So Tim is next in line. All right. So with that, let's go. Let's go to stage 21. Man, I'm glad you showed me this thing, Eugene. It makes life so much simpler. Oh, why did I do limited? I need single stack, not limited. Oh, so Tim, his score posted. He had a delta, but no mics. He is fourth. Big difference. Elias was second. Um, Caesar was eighth. John Vlieger third. Rob Latham ninth. So they are all done with it. It looks like. Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong stage. That's why. I think it's 17. Duh. All right, hold on a second. All right, Tim. 16. There we go. Good lord. I love this search function. All right. So I'm just going to leave this up then. I'm not going to mess with it. I assume it auto uh, updates. Does this thing auto update when you're in this view, Eugene? There's the update button. Disregard. But now I've got to type in again. the squad. So John Vlieger did shoot it. He is 15th. Okay. So John Vlieger did shoot it. He was 15th. So Tim is going to be last. It looks like no, Rob should be last, but that's weird. But John was 15th. So that's going to push Jeff down a little bit. John had a mic, the 3 deltas. So his all right. Now it's just 1751. So somebody else, there should be another update here. We'll find out in a minute, Manny. Let me just update this thing real quick. Now let me go back to Squad 203 and Tim Herron. That's what it says. Single stack, him and Caesar both minor. So yeah. And you have Leaguer, Elias, and Rob Latham all shooting major. So yeah, Tim's moving up into minor. I was wrong about the order, and they seem to have changed it since stage 15. It's all good. I'm assuming, yeah. That's weird that Rob would shoot before Tim. Now, the question is, what did that, now I'm curious, what did that do to overall with Jeff? Doesn't look like it did anything, really. '21. I don't think '21 is a double bay because it's a big field stage, Manny. I think 14 and 15 they were both like 12 round stages. I think those were in a double bay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Was it a double bay that they shot in? Yeah, stage 14 and 15 were in the same bay, so maybe that's what changed up the order. Good call. Mm, yeah, so John Vlieger is done. I don't think he really I don't think he really affected Jeff that much. And I don't know who else is on that stage with him because John shot, but none of the other guys. Caesar, you would think would be next, but there may have been someone between John and him because that was 8 minutes ago. So you know someone else shot. So let's go back to overall production. and they are done in production. So ended up Nils won by 82 points. Wow, Caesar had a miss and is still second. Oh, wow. So real quick, we'll get to that in a minute. I'll mention what Caesar put up, but production. So Nils won by 82 points over JJ, like 82.33. Brian was next, Brian Giovannini, but he was well behind JJ at 86. Mason was only 6 points behind Brian. He ended up fourth. 5 points behind him was Casey Reed in fifth, and 14 points behind him was Tyler Turner in sixth. So the other guys were able to make a push and push Tyler all the way back to sixth. Phil Strader was seventh. Stephen Lutman was eight. Austin Hull was 9. John Treat was 10. That rolls out your production top 10 for 2023. The Revolver guys look like they are done, and they are, except for Vincent Gunther at 6th, but he can't catch Jay Slater. So your top 5 are done. Michael Poggi, James McGinty, Rich Wolf, Alex Bakken, and Jay Slater. There's your top 5. Looks like Vincent Gunther will be 6th. Guerin will hold in 7. Caleb Higbee, 8. David Olhasso, 9. And Craig Seymour, 10. Single stack is really the only thing we're waiting on right now. Let me go back to limited for just a half second here. See if they're all done. And they are all done. Scott Brown, Joey Sauerland, John Browning, Shane Coley, Gianni. Top 5. There you go. How about that? Max Leograndis wins by 26 points over Casey Eusebio for his first non-PCC national championship. Casey was second. Trace Decker is third, followed by Tom Castro and Nick Walden. Nick ended up winning fifth place by 2 points over Cameron Templin. That's a tight finish there for fifth. And then Andrew Hyder, Jim Steele, Sammy Nelson, and Case Ryan. So that leaves just single stack. So let's see what is going on now. Let's go to stage 16 and just sit and wait. Let me type in squad 203 here. There we go. Yep. So John was 16th. Caesar was first. You still have Elias and Latham. Oh. Well, mine hasn't updated yet, Eugene. So, but it's not going to matter for Elias, but I guess it does affect the other standings. Eugene is saying, ouch, Elias did not do well on stage 16. So let me go back for a moment. Let's hit refresh. And then I'll go back into, hey, he was still 6th though. Even though he had a mic and he had 6 Charlies, his time was a second and a half slower than Caesar. I mean, he's still pretty much locked up his championship. Caesar's locked up second, but that does end up pushing other people back. So interesting. In that case, let's check something real quick now that Caesar has finished there. So that's pushed Jeff down to 1832. But Tim is still going to need some help. And there's only, a couple of people that can actually help him, Rob being one of them. And I don't even know if there's anybody but him and Rob left. Yeah, it's just Tim and Rob left to shoot. So I don't know that Tim has gotten enough help to make a difference. I think Tim's going to end up finishing in sixth place and Rob in fifth. And it's about every, well, there was a, yeah, I guess it depends on who is, I don't know how many people are shooting between Elias and Rob. They just need clean run with decent time. Yeah, you might be right. This is funny. All the other divisions are pretty much done. Everybody's in there. They know where they're going to finish. Um, it's just single stack now. Rob's probably hoping that the sunlight holds on for a few more minutes. It's going to be like Carry Optics Limited a couple years back, where they used the flashlight to finish up the stage. Pretty funny. You know what, Manny? I saw that. I saw that David Lyell got bumped. I'm wondering what he got bumped for. I have to figure that out. Because when you mentioned it earlier, I went and looked, and there were like seven people. Yeah, one, two, three, four, or five. I'm sorry, five people, and he was one of them. So I'd be curious to know what he got bumped for. Now it's just a matter of now it's just a waiting game to see where everybody finishes out. And while we were doing this, Tyler Turner did a live Instagram. Have to go back and look at that and see what that was about. I'm going to update this. Go back to the refresh button. Oh, Tim did not do well. Tim had two mics. His time was a little on the slower side. So he's pretty much, yeah, it's pretty much a done deal at this point. I think Tim is staying in sixth place. Oh no. Tim fell all the way to ninth with that stage. Wow. He must have gone for broke to see what he could do. So there you go. It's all over. Except Rob. Rob's the last one. But I can't imagine that he's going to drop below Henning. So it's going to be Elias, followed by Caesar, followed by Vlieger, followed by Jeff Cawthon, followed by Rob Latham, then Henning Wahlgren, Mike Sieklander, Jeremy Reed, Tim Herron, and Garrett Heinrich. Wow. And Tim is 0.04% behind Jeremy. Points wise, that is what? 0.78 roughly. Wow. He dropped from sixth to ninth and 0.78 points, 0.78 points behind Jeremy Reed for eighth. Mike Sieklander edged Jeremy Reed out by 5 points or 6 points to take seventh. And Henning finished 8 points in front of Mike for sixth. So it all comes down to Rob at this point. That might as well watch and see what he gets. I imagine he's got to be the last one. So now it's just a matter of seeing where he finishes up. He's probably the last guy to shoot in the match. Tim's going to be drinking some bourbon tonight after stage 16. I think this live stream has lasted longer than the one for Carry Optics Nationals. Still no Rob Latham score yet. I just hit the refresh. I always look over Eugene because I know you seem to see it before I do. Eugene, I got to get you on the podcast, and I got to figure out how in the world you're able to pull in world shoot scores into practice score, because thank God you did, because trying to look at what they had was a mess. It's probably fine for the rest of the world to understand, but I was like, what in the world? There's a lot of deltas and mics on that stage. Just scrolling through, or you don't have them and your time was much slower. I had to pull some minor miracle. I bet you did. I always think it's kind of like Back to the Future, where you had to wire up something to that electrical cord, and wait for the lightning bolt to strike at just the precise time. Well, there it is. Rob Latham ended up 13th. The Delta and a mic. There we go. And Rob held on to third by 24 points. Good for him. Rob Latham, fifth. Single stack. Good for him. And let's see here. 67 points Jeff Cawthon beat Jeremy Reed by. So I'm sure that'll be on an episode of their podcast. All right. I appreciate everybody who listened or will be listening to this. And Eugene, thank you for coming on. And I'm going to jump on Facebook and send you an invite to the show, because I'd love to have you on. Everybody take care, and I'll catch you again.